Good day everyone, my name is Rolex Jay together with Myra Anit. With the help of our group members, we will be demonstrating the HIDS tool called Splunk. First, a brief introduction about the tool we use. So let's get started. Splunk itself offers a range of products and services including Splunk Enterprise and Universal Forwarder, which we will be using. It has a capabilities of host-based intrusion detection or HIDS as a part of Security Information and Event Management or SIEM service. How Splunk HIDS works. The indexer processes incoming data from Universal Forwarder. The forwarder collects data from various sources and forwarding it to the indexer. In our case, we only use one host for Universal Forwarder and one for the indexer deployment server.
In this demonstration, we only cover set up wireless connection, set up Splunk Universal Forwarder, simulate attack, and here replace the virus from a USB flash drive. But this is not harmful and is used for test purposes. And lastly, review logs and events from indexer. Next, we now proceed to the demonstration video.
In this part, we use pocket Wi-Fi in order to connect these two PC. We run ping tests to verify if these two are connected. In this session, I have main Splunk on my host Windows PC1 with the IP address and one client that is Windows 11 on Universal Forwarder PC2. Now I want to install Splunk Universal Forwarder on PC2. So to install, check this box to accept license agreement. And yes, we're using an premise Splunk instance. Let's see your customized option. Next, so yeah, we don't need all of that. So we'll go local system. Next, choose which you want forwarded to these logs. Just click next. Alright, so username is going to be admin. Just use username and password to use for your Splunk instance. Here in deployment server, we're going to be using the IP address over our Splunk instance 192.168.8.102. Then I'm going to copy that, and the default port here is 8089. Next, then back again with IP address, and the default port here is 9997. Next, we'll install, and when the installation process is complete, we will then back to our Splunk instance and then allow for the logs to be sent into the Splunk instance from this Universal Forwarder. Here we're going to set up a firewall and add rules for port 9997 to both devices. And this allows to receive data from PC2 Universal Forwarder.
So this is the PC1 indexer or the PC with Splunk Enterprise installed. We need to log in first. To receive data from PC2 Forwarder, we need to add the port first. Go to Settings, Receiving and Forwarding, click Add New, add the port 9997. To verify if the PC2 Forwarder host is added, go to Search and Reporting, Data Summary. So, as you can see, we successfully added this host, which is the PC2 Forwarder. To see the events from the PC2, we need to input search query. This query is to index all fields and all events. Now, we successfully see the event logs from PC2 Forwarder. Now, in order to test if the PC1 indexer received the event log of virus threat, we inserted a flash drive in PC2 Forwarder with virus in it. We open the test virus and see the Windows security has a warning that there is a threat found. Now, we go back to PC1 indexer if we see event logs from PC2 Forwarder related to Windows Security Defender virus threat. We need to click Source Type, then Source, and click Windows Defender. So, as you can see, we have now the Windows Defender event logs from PC2 Forwarder. Next is to review these logs. We can see that Windows Defender detected a virus, and also the information about the threat.
And then now we remove the virus from PC2 Universal Forwarder. And then we will go back to PC1 Indexer to see update events logs.
Network Access Control. What is NAC, or Network Access Control? It can act as a traffic controller in a network. It monitors and analyzes network traffic in real time, looking for suspicious patterns, anomalies, and indicator of potential security threats such as malware, intrusion attempts, or malicious activities. Verifies device and user identities. Grants access based on authorization, means allowing user or devices to access specific resources or perform certain action based on their level of authorization or permission. NAC authentication methods. 802.1x authentication. It is commonly used in wireless LAN environments, where devices must provide valid credentials such as usernames and passwords, digital certificates, or other authentication mechanisms. MAC address authentication. Devices are authenticated based on their unique media access control addresses. While MAC addresses authentication is straightforward, it can be less secure as MAC addresses can be spoofed or easily obtained. Biometric authentication. This method utilizes physiological or behavioral characteristics such as fingerprints, facial recognition, or iris scans to authenticate users. Biometric authentication offers strong security but may require specialized hardware or software. Guest authentication. Guest users are authenticated using temporary credentials or access codes provided by the network administrator. Guest authentication methods may vary depending on the organization's policies and requirements. Multi-factor authentication combines two or more authentication factors such as passwords, security tokens, biometrics, or smart cards to enhance security. User must provide multiple forms of verification to access the network, reducing the risk of unauthorized access. Device health checks. NAC solutions assess the security posture of devices by checking for the presence of antivirus software, operating system patches, firewall configuration, and other security-related attributes. Devices must meet predefined security requirements before being granted access to the network. Type of network access control. Pre-admission network access control and post-admission network access control. Pre-admission evaluates access attempts and only allow entry to authorized devices and users, while on the other hand, post-admission network access control authenticates users trying to enter a different part of the network, also restricts lateral movement to limit the damage from security attacks. Operating NAC. User-friendly interface for administrator. 2. Configures policies. 3. Monitor network activities. Monitoring network activity is a critical aspect of cybersecurity that involves continuously observing and analyzing data traffic, events, and behavior within the network. Respond to security incidents in real time. Responding to security incidents in real time is crucial for minimizing the impact of security breaches, mitigating risk, and preventing further damage to the system, networks, and data. Benefits of NAC: enhanced security, optimized network performance, compliance adherence. Refers to the process of ensuring that organization conforms to established regulation, standards, policies, and guidance relevant to its industry, operation, and data management practices. Proactive threat prevention. Proactive threat prevention refers to the strategies, measures, and action taken by the organization to anticipate, detect, mitigate, and prevent security threats before they can cause harm or damage to system, network data, and operation. Use cases for network access control. NAC for guest and constructor. Whether accounting for constructor, visitor, or partners, organization use NAC solution to ensure that non-employee have access privileges to the network that are separated from those of the employees. NAC for BYOD. BYOD means bring your own device. The exceptional growth in mobile devices has liberated the workforce from their desks and allow employees to work remotely from their mobile devices. NAC for BYOD ensures compliance for all employee-owned devices before accessing the network. NAC for Internet of Things. IoT devices, whether manufacturing, healthcare, or other industry, are growing exponentially and serve as additional entry points for attackers to enter the network. NAC can reduce this risk in IoT devices by applying defined profiling and access policies for various device categories. NAC for Incidents Response. NAC vendors can share contextual information, for example, user ID or device type, with third-party security components. They can respond to cybersecurity alerts by automatically enforcing security policies that isolate compromised endpoints. NAC for medical devices. As more medical devices come online, it's critical to identify devices entering a converged network. NAC solution can help protect devices and medical records from threats, improve healthcare security, and strengthen the ransomware protection.
Outbound of your internal network, so you can identify when unsolicited spam advertisements are being emailed inbound, and if this inbound email appears to be phishing attempt, so you can block all the gateway. It's very common to include antiviruses on the firewall on the gateway so that all of the inbound and outbound attachments can be scanned directly. This mail gateway allows you to examine all of communication, both inbound and outbound of your network. You can identify when unsolicited spam advertisements are being emailed inbound, and if
Email gateway is where all the information coming in and out is filtered through that gateway before ever coming into internal server. They will instead have that email gateway in the cloud.
Hello everyone. This part we're going to tell you about key components of computer networking. So what is bridge? A bridge is a network device that connects multiple LANs or local area networks together to form a larger LAN. It connects the different components so that they appear as a part of a single network. A bridge accepts all packets and amplifies all of them of the other side. The bridge are intelligence devices that allow the passes of only selective packets from them. A bridge only passes those packets addressed from a node in one network to another node in the other network. So how bridge help us to prevent network traffic? A bridge receives all packets or frame from both LAN, segment A and B. A bridge builds a table of addresses from which it can identify that the packets are sent from which LAN, either segment to which LAN. The bridge reads and sends and discards all packets from LAN A sent to a computer on LAN A, and that packets from LAN A sent to a computer on LAN B are retransmitted to LAN B. The packets from LAN B are considered as the same method.
Let's take a live example for better understanding.
Now these are the types of bridge. The first one is transparent bridge. A transparent bridge is a common type of bridge. It is an invisible bridge in the computer network. The main function of this bridge is to block or forward the data depending on the MAC address. Then the second one is translational bridge. A translational bridge plays a key role in changing a network system from one type to another. These bridges are used to connect two different networks like token ring and Ethernet. Then the last one is source route bridge. Source route bridge is one type of technique used for token ring networks, and it is designed by IBM. In this bridge, the total frame route is embedded in one frame, so that it allows the bridge to make precise decision of how the frame is forwarding using the network.
SSL. SSL stands for Security Socket Layer and is a protocol that encrypts data transmitted between computers, and TLS or Transport Layer Security is essentially a newer version of SSL, but with better security practices. SSL offers a few layers of protection by encrypting data sent between the server and the end user, making it a bit more secure. You can tell at a glance if a server is using SSL by looking at the URL. If it is just HTTP, it is insecure. If it is using HTTPS, the S stands for secure and using some form of encryption. So, should you use SSL? SSL should be used pretty much all the time, but especially whenever sensitive information is transmitted online. This includes obvious information like credit card information and social security numbers, but also includes personal information such as passwords, usernames, pins, forms, email addresses, home addresses, and phone numbers. Anything and everything that is unique to your user should be encrypted. SSL or TLS accelerators are hardware devices or specialized software designed to offload and accelerate SSL or TLS encryption and decryption processes from servers. They enhance the performance and security of web servers handling secure connections. So, what are the benefits of using SSL or TLS? Performance improvement. By offloading SSL or TLS processing, accelerator improves server response time and throughput, enabling a server to handle more secure connection concurrently. And number 2, enhanced security. Centralized SSL termination allows for better inspection and monitoring of encrypted traffic, facilitating the detection and prevention of security threats. And lastly, cost saving. SSL or TLS accelerators help reduce the need for additional server infrastructure to handle SSL or TLS processing, resulting in a cost saving on hardware and operational expenses. So, functionality. Offloading. SSL or TLS accelerators offload cryptographic operation from the main server CPUs, improving server performance and scalability. Encryption and decryption. They handle the computationally intensive task of encrypting and decrypting data, reducing the burden on server resources. SSL termination. Accelerators terminate SSL connection at the edge of the network, decrypting incoming traffic before forwarding it to the server and re-encrypting outgoing traffic before sending it to clients. So, that's all. Thank you.
SSL decryption is also known as SSL visibility. It's a crucial process and aimed at enhancing security by decrypting encrypt web traffic. While SSL or TLS encryption plays a crucial role in securing data in transit, it creates blind spots for security tools, allowing encrypted malware and data exfiltration to evade detection. Cybercriminals exploit these encrypted channels, knowing that traditional security solutions often lack the ability to inspect encrypted traffic effectively. SSL decryption involves decrypting traffic at scale and routing to various inspection tools, such as next generation firewall or NDFW, data loss prevention or DLP systems, intrusion detection and prevention system or IDS and IPS, and web gates to identify threats inbound to application and outbound from user to the internet.
On this video, I'm going to illustrate SSL decryptors. Going to illustrate what is SSL decryption. And before that, we need to understand what is SSL. SSL is responsible for securing traffic with goes to public internet. With the help of this scenario, um, what can be happen to the user that inside on their company office. For example, the user from finance department will try to surf google.com. A connection to user to the google.com is called the SSL, right? And the user try to search something in the google.com. For example, the user is in up to fraud website and she don't know if the website is legal or a genuine website. You can create a connection PC website and it's called the SSL. Is encrypted. Don't know what are they are communicating. Now the fraud website is trying to inject a virus to the user and can be infected to other machine in the office. And for the security, you can use SSL decryption. We can try to decrypt what are they are communicating. Can decrypt the what is they are communicating. It can decrypt the what is communicating inside. For the policy of this firewall, it can block or allow application. The help of URL application, and for the help of those all, it can secure the network of organization or office or company. That's why SSL description is important.
An email gateway is a type of email server that protects an organization or user's internal email servers. This server acts as a gateway through which every incoming and outgoing email passes through. Most organizations have to deal with the problem of unsolicited email. So what is unsolicited email? It means that the recipient has not granted verifiable permission for a message to be sent. It is very common for an organization to put their own email gateway where all the information coming in and out before coming into an internal server. And some organizations have not this in their DMZ. Instead, they have email gateway in the cloud. But it will still perform for checking spam and make sure that the date coming through is really intended and for the recipients or the receiver inside of the network. You can identify or control when there is spam or any suspicious coming from your network. And if this email inbound appears to be phishing attempt, you can block it before it will arrive to the receiver. And it's very common to include antivirus in this email gateway so that the inbound and outbound email or attachment can be scanned. And it's also common the data loss prevention or DLP. So if there's somebody sending or receiving an email that contains personal information, it can be filtered out of the email at the gateway. So this email gateway is also used a number of different methods to identify the unsolicited email or spam. It will also allowing those messages from trusted senders, and it's called whitelisting. Everything will be blocked except those known senders. Another type of spam checking is SMTP standards. It blocks anything that doesn't follow the RFC standards. Another spam checking is called reverse DNS. You can examine the inbound email who is sending the email messages, and you can also examine the IP address of the sender. You can then perform the DNS so that you can check if the sender matches what's in the DNS for email server. If those IP address don't match, you can discard the email at the gateway. And also another will prevent spam is to implement targeting in your email gateway. So what does that mean? It will intentionally slow down the server conversation between your email gateway and the sending email gateway, because a spammer don't like slow down. That's why they call spammers, because they like to spam as many as possible. And if it will slow down the spammer, The spammer will give up and stop sending spam at all. And also, there is recipients filtering. So what does that mean? It will block all email not addressed to a valid recipient's email address. Email encryption. We know that mail can be easily intercepted. Most email is not encrypted. It is very common for third party to view information, sending or receiving sensitive information. The encryption mechanisms aren't always seamless. Encryption can be required on a gateway based on policy. Force the encryption, send a password to the sender, they will know what the password is. So if they will receive the email, they will be able to recognize the data. And if the user supports encryption, the gateway will recognize the encryption and will allow the email to be sent normally. So here is the demo of the email gateway performed by Aemmanuel Baliquig and Marchillen, Catalan.
Email gateway allows you to examine all of communication both in
software or hardware form, acts a bridge between various domains, including different protocols and network types. For example, it can facilitate the transition from satellite to IP, convert protocols like RTMP to HLS or transport stream, and connect LAN-based network with SWAN network and vice versa. Media gateway are crucial for broadcasters, enabling them to link different network domains. In instance, utilizing the SRT protocols to connect internet-based network with the traditional LAN-based network. Moreover, in enterprises, media gateways serve a similar function, facilitating communication between LAN and WAN network. Additionally, they can function as caching mechanism, restoring popular VOD assist at engaged device to enable local viewers to assist contact without relying on internet connection.
There are a lot of examples of media gateway. One common example of a media gateway is the cable modem, which serves as a bridge between a user's home network and the internet service provider's network. Cable modems enable high-speed data transmission over cable television infrastructure, allowing users to access the internet, stream videos, and make VIP calls. Cable set-top boxes, which not only receive and decode digital television signals but also provide interactive services such as a video on demand, electronic program guides, and pay-per-view options. These devices functions as media gateways by transporting incoming signals into formats that can be displayed on the user's television screen.
Many beginners are often confused. A gateway is actually a gate from a network to another network. As we go from one room to another, we pass through a door. So from one network to another, when sending a message, it must pass through a gate. This is the gate to be clear when the host needs to access the address of different target network segment. First message need to send to the gateway. After the device receives the message from the host, it will look up its own routing table to direct forwarding or dropping off.